What we're going to be tying here is going to be a Prince Nymph, one of my favorite flies. We're going to start off with the red thread near the eye of the hook. We're just going to lay down a nice, clean, smooth thread base. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a couple of wraps right there at the rear. What this is going to do is it's going to help me keep the tails split. So I take a couple pieces of brown turkey biot and I orient them so they are facing away from each other, just like so. Then I want them to be about half the length of the hook, so I just kind of eyeball it, get it close, and I pinch those right where I want them. I give it a fairly loose wrap, and the next wrap will tighten down. Now as I wrap back up on that hump that I made there, it'll actually take those tails and split them just like so. Once you've done that, you can take your thread forward, trim out those biots, and I take a piece of copper wire. I'm going to tie that in and wrap it down the shank of the hook. Next I take two pieces of Peacock Herl, and tie those in with the tips. Just like so. And break those tips out of there. And I'm going to take the thread all the way up to the eye of the hook. Now I'm just going to take this Peacock and I'm going to wrap it around the hook, making all those fibers stand up nice and straight, nice and fluffy. Then when I get up towards the eye, I leave a tiny bit of room. I capture that Peacock, lock it down, then I'm going to take that wire and I'm going to counter wrap it, which means I go the opposite way. I wrap that Peacock, and what that does is it locks it down, keeps it from unraveling. And what I can do is capture it, tie it off, just like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie in the legs, and I do this by taking a piece of Partridge. On the tip I just cut out a V, and I just place that roughly where I want it. Make a nice loose wrap around it. I kind of let it spiral, just like so. And all I'm trying to do is, in that one I did a little too far back. There we go, just like so. Once you've done that, you can clip them out of there. I basically want those fibers to just kind of get right next to the tip of that hook, the point. I don't want to overdo it and make them too long. Then what I can do is on the ones on the top, I can kind of trim out some of those, because what we're going to do is we're going to tie in the wings. And I do that with a couple pieces of white turkey. Same thing we use for the tail, just in white. And I get a couple of those, and these I usually don't tie in at the same time. I tie in one at a time. You can see there's a curve to it. I want that curve facing down. And I want it to be about the length of the hook shank. Tie it in just like so. And I kind of want them to make a V, so I can kind of just orient them. Oopsie. Sometimes you have to do it again. So I kind of point it off to the side, just like so. Then I do the same thing on the other side. Gotta be careful not to make these too long. Then I'll actually take those biots, or the back of them, and I'll double them back over, and what this does is it makes it so it won't come unraveled. Once you've done that, you can trim them out of there. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to clean up the head. Take those wings and push them up a little. And then we can whip finish. That is your Prince Nymph. Tails are a little wild there. There you go. It's actually a more difficult fly to tie than a lot of people think to get the proportions right.